So let's face it, decluttering can feel hard, even overwhelming at just the thought of it. You have a closet full of clothes, 30 pairs of shoes, and still can't find anything to wear. In this video, I'm sharing with you how something like decluttering your closet has a lot more to do with your mind and your feelings than it does just making room. You'll learn about how to become more aware and intentional what you decide to put on your body and why. No more empty closets just to fill them up again with stuff you never wear. Growth is spiritual and personal. And if you want to have a phenomenal year ahead, the best time to start is in December, and the first place to start is purposeful decluttering of your mind. Let's get into it. Hey friend, it's Maggie. Welcome back to my channel where I help equip and develop Christian women who want to live with purpose, heal, learn, and grow a relational lifestyle with Jesus. Today I want to talk about decluttering, right? Because decluttering is all about your girl was thirsty. Okay. So it's December, and December can bring a lot of feelings. Some people might be frantic. They might feel anxious around the holidays, whether you're with family, away from family. You have the people who are super happy and they've had their tree up since before Thanksgiving, and everything in the world makes sense to them when they are in the Christmas spirit, right? It doesn't matter if I'm broke, it makes sense. If life is lifing right now, it makes sense. Like, they are happy in December and can't nobody break their mood. And so to give you a little bit of background as to why I'm even doing this video is because when you position yourself to start your year in January, you might get off to a good start, but preparing in December, you can have momentum in January. And I want to talk to the remnant of people that want to position themselves that way. So where do we start? Decluttering. You and I cannot make new goals if we don't take the time to actually start undoing some of the things that happened to us this year, some of the things that we happened to this year. You want to declutter all of that for yourself so that when you are in January, you're walking in with clarity, with direction, with guidance, like with a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are doing the thing. So the activity that we're doing inside of the group right now, we're decluttering our closets, but the lessons are all about decluttering your mind. I kind of want to give you like a little mini lesson here so that even if you're not in the coaching group, you can start thinking about some things for yourself when you're thinking about positioning yourself for 2024. So you get to pick whatever it is you want to declutter. You want to walk into it with an approach. You don't want to just start grabbing at stuff and throwing away stuff. You're actually taking yourself through a process, right? So you're going to pick either your closet, it could just be one messy drawer that you want to declutter and you want to get things organized. For this month, the entire month, you're going to be doing three things. You're going to be reflecting, you're going to be learning, and you're going to plan for your 2024. Your mind has more to do with your closet than your clothes. I will say that again. Your mind has more to do with how your closet looks than it does the actual clothes that are in the closet. You are going to be reflecting on certain things. The first thing you want to reflect on are your W's. I don't care how big, how small, you are going to reflect on all of the wins that you had this year, whether that is you got a pay raise, you're being trusted with more responsibility, your husband took off so that he can go with you to the doctors. Like, I want you to think about any and everything, all of the wins that God brought your way in 2023. Why am I telling you to reflect on the wins first? I'm telling you that because the human brain, especially if you're a woman, the human brain, it is very easy to go to the negative first than it is to go to positive thinking, than it is to go to celebration and joy and really owning your wins. I want you to know that if you grew in any capacity, in any kind of self-awareness, that's a win. Even if it came by way of problems and trials and whatever, it was a win because you grew from that, right? You're learning certain things. So you're just going to reflect on all of your wins. The second thing I want you to reflect on, and this is as important as reflecting on your wins, is I want you to take the L. Like, I want you to reflect on your losses. Reflect on when you dropped the ball, when you made the mistake, when it was your fault, right? When you did say something that was out of pocket. And then I want you to accept that. Don't resist against that feeling of being wrong. If there's one thing that decluttering our closets have done for us, is that you're looking at these clothes that you are wearing that no longer fit you, right? But you're also looking at clothes that you're getting rid of, not because they didn't fit, but because they're not you anymore. And if you've grown this year at all, one thing you can learn to grow in is taking your L. Take it on the chin, right? Don't make it mean anything about you. As I'm going through this process, because I'm going through it with the girls, I'm doing it with you in the coaching program. So what I've been learning, I'm being honest with my mistakes, with my shortcomings, but also with things about me. Like, I know that I can be an overthinker. I know my limitations, and I'm accepting my limitations. I'm accepting that I overthink. I'm accepting that my personality is different than other people's personality. But why is it so important for me to accept? Because then I can put boundaries where they need to be, and I can also walk freely and without shame. Right? Just because I'm an overthinker doesn't mean I can't turn my overthinking into useful thinking. So if you know you're an overthinker, like, give yourself time to actually think. When I'm journaling, I'm giving myself time to think. When I'm praying, I am praying about the things that have been on my heart, the things that I'm thinking about, right? So I've learned to have boundaries around my overthinking. I know that I can take up every thought to the Lord. I can receive from Him in that moment. When I'm journaling, I'm no longer holding those emotions in my body. I am working my emotions out. I am processing through it. Why is that important? Because if I never accepted the fact that I can be an overthinker, I wouldn't even bother to create boundaries or hold space for myself to work out some of those feelings with the Lord. A lot of us are reacting to what we feel. A lot of us are avoiding the fact that we're feeling that way. But when you come into full acceptance of what it is, of the fact that you win some and you lose some, then you can start learning about who you are by accepting who you are. Even though you have components that make up your personality, I want you to know all of your personality, weaknesses, limitations are all in Christ. Paul said, I will boast all the more in my weaknesses, because that is when the power of Christ dwells in me. So not even your weakness and limitations disqualify you from the presence of God, from God taking up space in your temple. The second one is learning. I start to learn, what are my old stories? What are my patterns? What does trigger me? Like, when I'm actually triggered, when I self-sabotage, when I quit on myself before I even give myself a chance, what is it that gets me into that emotional storm? When you start learning those kind of things, you can evaluate your actions and then decide how you would do it differently next time. Would you have done it differently next time? 9 out of 10 times, there's something I could have done. And if we can just hold a little bit of space for ourselves without judging it, right? Don't judge your weakness. Don't judge your limitation. Just state it. State it right there, right? If you are a people pleaser, put it down. Put it down, because when people pleasing shows up in your life, something's gonna click off in your brain and say, I just realized when I people pleased in the moment. And that's a win for that day. Why? You're realizing people pleaser is not who I am. People pleasing is what I do when I feel a certain way. Learn your triggers, girl. right? We all have to learn our triggers. Decluttering has showed me that number one, there needs to be an approach. You need to go in there intentionally. Number two, it's gonna bring all the feels, girl. It's gonna bring them up. So why not actually engage and lean into that outfit that you can't fit in no more? Lean into the letter you found from the man that was in your life in that season. Lean into that. Because if you don't start growing in your awareness, if you don't practice your new nature, what is the alternative? The alternative is next year will look like this year. And I'm not talking about circumstances and events that are happening around you. I'm talking about you. The same you will walk that year. It might look a little different, but the same you will walk into that year. So the next step is planning. After you have reflected, after you have processed, after you've written down some of the things you've learned and how you would do it differently, plan. Put that plan together and start with the things you would have done differently. The way that I like to do this is that every year I give myself 5 goals. It's one goal in each of these life areas. It's health, relationships, money, spiritual disciplines, and purpose. So you can start there. I want you to think of this closet that you're decluttering. So when you think about your health, you can ask yourself, what about my health this year can I reflect on? Where can I see wins and where can I take the L? Where do I see my actions contributed to this? What would I do differently? And then plan to do it differently. 2024, I believe, is going to be a year of trusting God and execution. This may sting for someone, but I genuinely believe in 2024, we have to get over ourselves. What I mean is that, do you care about it enough? Think about your goals and how many times you've quit on certain goals over and over and over again. You've trained your mind to quit on you. And so I think moving forward into 2024, we need to train and renew our minds daily to trust in the Lord and to execute, to have integrity with ourselves. Maybe it's not getting you mad enough. Maybe you should care more about your health and you should care more about your relationships and your spiritual disciplines. Ask yourself, if it doesn't bother you, why doesn't it bother me? But if it does bother you, you have to start accepting why. This video was simply that. December is about taking the time to reflect, to learn, and to plan, to position yourself in a way that January is not just a kickstart, but that January would be momentum. And that all of this is an inside job. It starts with you. It starts in your mind. It starts in your heart. It starts with God. So if you want to position yourself for that momentum, I'm gonna leave all the links down below. There's a PDF that you can download with exactly what I spoke about today. Like just taking on your approach, looking and reflecting at your year, see what you would do differently, and plan for what's to come. If you wanna do this with a group of women who are on fire for God, women who are living out God's purpose for them, who are positioned, who are praying for one another, I'd like you to join my community and let me coach you through this, okay? I'll leave everything down below. Even if you decide not to come join us, that's okay, but just download the PDF so that you can start growing your awareness. All right, if you like this video and you want more content like this, I want you to hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up so that I know that this is the kind of content that you're loving and you want more of. All right, girl, it's time to declutter. Peace. Hey, if you love today's video, I want you to go check out this one. Go ahead, check it out. I promise you'll like it.